Bitcoin falls below $59,000 just hours ago, bouncing off of a very important daily moving average. Bitcoin bears are left creaming their jorts at the thought of further dumpulation. But is this something more serious, or simply another shakeout to fake out the baby bears from the real mommy makeout? I'm your host, William the Wiggler, and just like a worm, Bitcoin is right now wiggling sideways on these charts, but we all know what happens when a worm gets done wiggling. With Bitcoin falling dramatically overnight, but failing to set a lower low, which the bears needed around 57.5K, is Bitcoin in for more pain, or is it time for some gains? So you guys need to channel, make sure to like, subscribe, turn in these absolutely time-sensitive alerts as well. We have a little over 2 days until we pick our ledger or equivalent in BTC, just meaning an equivalent in Bitcoin to how much a ledger is. All you have to do is make sure to subscribe and leave a comment, enter. Without any further ado, let's speak. So we're going to be jumping into these Bitcoin charts and a few other charts as well, because the times are changing. And Bitcoin today, for the first time, well, I guess since we broke above this moving average back on October 1st, exactly a month and a half ago, this is the very first time Bitcoin has touched on the 50-day moving average. Remember, breaking above it was a very bullish indication, and we haven't broken below it. However, we bounced exactly on it, right at about 58.5 thousand. So we're going to be jumping into that, and the DXY rallying and setting a new high for the very first time since summer of last year, the highest point since summer of last year. So what exactly is going on here? So the third largest Bitcoin whale address adds over 200 Bitcoin at around the $62,000 level, and adding an equivalent of almost $13 million to its balance at around $62,000 per Bitcoin. And as of now, this address has increased its holdings to 635 Bitcoin in November. And currently, this wallet is worth about almost $5 billion here. So we have a quote here by on-chain analytics firm Crypto Quant explaining this pattern is obvious during the last bull run in 2017. All exchanges to derivative exchanges indicator peaked many times and the price experienced a jump after each time. Right now, during the bull run, the metric has peaked 4 times, indicating whales are buying and hedging their coins continuously. And the phase we're currently in right now is known as distribution, the phenomenon historically accompanying the most voracious phase of bullish price action, as witnessed, as we talked about in yesterday's video, beginning last November. Okay, remember what happened October, November, December, January, February, March, and then April of 2021. Well, we're seeing that same sort of run up to a similar situation, okay, as many people expect at this point. So very big, and you see this $62,000 level volume profile here coinciding with previous highs. Interesting coincidence, Whale Map says here, should be our plunge protection. And we're going to be jumping into this in a second as well. But yeah, if we go even just to this daily chart and we zoom out, just take a look at some of the VPVR volume, a gigantic amount around that $57,000, $58,000 level. Obviously a ton also around like 48, 49,000, and just insane amounts around 40K, which was like our last macro massive flip of support, okay? Because it was resistance for the entire summer, and then we flipped it into support back, solidifying it kind of at the end of September, beginning of October. And then absolute moon mission has occurred, and we basically have only gone up since then. Ever since bouncing off 40K, we pretty much only went up, and we've been kind of just teeter-tottering in this $60,000 range since then. Okay, so yeah, the other thing I want to cover real quick as well is just that Bitcoin price dips under 60,000 so far temporarily as the DXY reaches 16-month highs. Okay, as Bitcoin slid under 59, the US dollar jumped to its highest level in 16 months after spending across the American retail sector grew despite persistent inflation fears here. And the infrastructure bill is another thing that people are saying is influencing this as well. But if we take a look, first of all, at the DXY, clearly, yes, that is the highest it's been in about 16 months. You can see here. And again, a potential like double bottom type pattern here as well. So that is something we're going to be watching very heavily. Is it possible the DXY starts rallying into 2021 and maybe rallies for a few years afterwards? Potentially. And that would also coincide with Bitcoin topping out over the next few months and potentially, entering a bearish trend there. So that would all line up, in my opinion, and make sense there as well. And before we jump into Bitcoin, there are some people also drawing with Ethereum a rising wedge, something like this. sheesh Louise, something like this, and then with a potential breakdown target of under 4K. But yeah, I mean, as far as I can see, this still looks like to me a breakout of an ascending triangle and then coming back for a retest, which as you can see, so far kind of just touched right on there, about 4,100. And yeah, again, so far, I don't see anything super bearish with this at all, but yeah, Bitcoin is still, for the most part, trading. If we would actually concretely lose 60,000, and what I'm talking about is like falling significantly below 58, 57, and then getting rejected if we would try to come back up to 57 and 58, then obviously that would be a bearish flip, but we haven't done that yet. So I see no reason to be actually bearish at all at this point. Now, if we would, if we fail this 50-day right here at about 58, let's say we come down, let's say we make a move down to 50K, 51K over the next week or two. Let's say we did something like this, came back up and then get rejected. Okay, that's very bearish then. That would be very bearish. But again, we're a long way away from anything like that. And in my mind, again, this is still, I see nothing bearish about this. We're still consolidating above 60K. It took us a while to flip 40K. And yeah, I mean, if we take a look on the weekly chart, again, it would be silly to look at this chart and say, wow, this is mega bearish. Okay, if we breach this support right here, that's what matters. So that would be bearish if we fell below this and then got rejected here. But we haven't done that. And yeah, so far everything, obviously, I mean, the fact that the 21-week moving average is at 49,000, okay, being above that technically is the indication of a bull market. And we actually came all the way down to that back in October and then bounced and then increased by like, what was this, like 50, yeah, 60 some percent, actually almost 70% to the upside. So even if we did get a move down there, that isn't necessarily bearish either. At this point, anybody panicking is just silly at this point. Really, nothing bearish has happened objectively. And the macro structure is more than intact. Absolutely beautiful. As you get the new channel, make sure to like, subscribe, turn on to see absolutely time-sensitive alerts as well. Make sure to enter for just, if you want to protect your crypto with a ledger or equivalent in BTC. And if you're interested in any other bonuses, make sure to check out the links below. Without any further ado, that's it for me.